Hi guys, welcome back to Symbolic Logic Part 11. We are taking reference of Symbolic Logic 5th edition, which was written by Irving and Copy from the University of Hawaii. In the previous session, we have seen about Venn diagrams and how to draw it. We have also used Venn diagrams to find if the syllogism is valid or invalid. In the previous two examples, with the help of Venn diagrams, we have proved that the syllogism is invalid. Today, we are going to see about how to find the syllogism is valid or invalid with the use of moods and figures without using the Venn diagram. We need to know the valid moods and figures in order to prove the validity of syllogism. We already seen that we have four figures in syllogism: figure 1, figure 2, figure 3 and figure 4. First, our syllogism must be in the form of figure 1, which is MP, SM and SP, in order to check the moods. After checking the figure, we must check the valid moods of figure 1, which are AAA, EAE, AII and EIO. In figure 2, which is PM, SM and SP, we have valid moods as EAE, AEE, AWO and EIO. With the help of the names beside the moods, Caesar, Simsters, Marco, and Festino, the mood you can easily remember the valid moods in each figure. So, in figure 3, which is MP, MS, and SP, we have valid moods as WAI, IAI, AII, OAO, EAO, and EIO. And we in figure 4, which is MP, MS and SP, some of the valid moods are WAI, AEE, EAO and IAI and EIO. As we seen the valid moods in each figures, let's apply the knowledge in the upcoming examples and test. Let's find out if the syllogism is valid or invalid. So, in example 1, we all have PRM, no SRM, some SR not P. So, we have the mood as 2 and figure as AEO. Let's go to the figure 2 and check whether there is a mood which is AEO exists or not. AEO in figure 2. So in figure 2, we do not have a mood as AEO. So we cannot conclude it as valid. So we need to draw a Venn diagram in order to find if this syllogism is valid or not. Since we can't find the mood in the figure 2, let's draw a Venn diagram to find out. All P or M is the premise 1. The first Venn diagram, the first Venn diagram shows the A type. It indicates the premise 1. So, in premise 1, we have all P or M. So, we have shaded all the P because there is no one in the P region and everyone are there in the M region. The next Venn diagram indicates the premise 2. The premise 2 is no SRM. So, using the Venn diagram, we found that there are no S in M. So, we have shaded that part. To understand these Venn diagrams more correctly, kindly check the previous video. So we have the Venn diagram for premise 3, and if we join the Venn diagram of premise 1 and premise 2, we get the Venn diagram which is in the top, which is not equal to the conclusions Venn diagram. So this syllogism is invalid. So let's see the example 2. Some PRM, all MRF, therefore some SRP. So this syllogism has mood as 4 and figure as IAI. So let's go back to the chart and see if there is IAI in figure 4. IAI in figure 4. So we have IAI in figure 4. So let's so this is a valid syllogism. So let's check by drawing the Venn diagram. So if we draw the Venn diagram, the first Venn diagram indicates the premise 1, and the second Venn diagram indicates the premise 2, and the third Venn diagram indicates the conclusion. And the fourth Venn diagram, we have merged both the premise 1 and premise 2, and checking the and comparing it with the conclusions Venn diagram. So if we see this is not equal, both the Venn diagrams is not equal, so the syllogism is invalid. But as we seen, IAI is the valid syllogism, because in figure 4 we have this IAI as mode. So you must have a doubt. So this example is valid or invalid. So we must take it as valid since it is there in figure 4. IAI. Demaris. Is that right? So this syllogism is valid. But the Venn diagram shows it is invalid. Sometimes the Venn diagram shows invalid. That doesn't mean the syllogism is invalid. So we must first check the mood and figure if it is valid or invalid. So if it is valid, then the syllogism is also valid. We must take the Venn diagram into account only if the mood and figure is not found. So let's see the example 3. So is AAA1 valid? So let's check if in figure 1 we have triple A or not. So in figure 1 we have triple A. Yeah. So this is a valid syllogism, we can conclude. Even though it is a valid syllogism, let's look into its Venn diagram. So what does this Venn diagram of this syllogism says? We have the first Venn diagram which indicates premise 1, and second premise 2, and the third as conclusion, and the fourth Venn diagram shows the merged Venn diagram of premise 1 and 2, which is equal to the conclusion 1. So this is the valid syllogism. Sometimes the figure and mood is valid and the Venn diagram is also valid. Sometimes even though if the figure and mood is valid, the Venn diagram must be will be invalid. So first we need to check the mood and figure, and after that we need to check the Venn diagram.